These switches by the main entrance control my exterior and living room lights, but even after living here for a couple of months, I still can't remember which one does what. I need a smart solution, but first I have to see what I'm working with inside the wall. Let's get this cover plate off and remove the screws holding the mounting frame. Are you ready? Oh my god, this is even worse than I thought. Honestly, looking at this nest of cables, my first instinct was to just give up. But we are going to make this work. Hello and welcome back to Poseidwn Tech. This is the second video in the series of me automating my own home. In the previous video, we swapped out that dated thermostat for the Shelly wall display. If you missed that one, I've linked it in the description below. I'm putting together a dedicated playlist for this entire smart home journey, so make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any updates. And if you want to support what we do here, consider becoming a member of Poseidwn Tech by clicking that join button. The first thing I had to do to fight this spaghetti wiring nightmare was to separate every single wire. I've added labels to each cable so I know exactly which light circuit I'm dealing with, like the kitchen and the sofa lights. If you look closely at how the neutral wires were connected, they were just twisted together and wrapped in electrical tape. While this might have worked in the past, it's far from a standard compliant connection. To fix this and make the installation safe and reliable, I'm replacing all of that tape with proper Wago connectors. It's the only way to keep this box organized enough to actually fit our smart devices. I've left this one section with tape for now because the wires are quite short, and I'll need 2 more Wago connectors to extend them properly. I'll deal with that later, but right now I need your full attention. We are dealing with 230 volts mains electricity, which is extremely dangerous. You must always turn off the power at the main breaker before touching any wires. If you aren't 100% comfortable working with high voltage, please stop here and call a professional electrician. Safety is the top priority in every project we do. To take control of these lights, I've selected the Shelly Mini Gen3. This thing is incredibly small, but it's a powerhouse. It's a Wi-Fi relay that handles up to an 8 amp load, works completely standalone without a hub, but the real magic is in the protocols. This device supports KNX, meaning it can be integrated directly into professional installations. And don't worry, I'll have a tutorial coming soon to explain exactly how that works. On top of that, it's a Matter-compatible device, so I can add it straight to my Apple HomeKit and it will be auto-discovered by Home Assistant. It's basically the Swiss Army knife of smart relais. The Shelly Mini features 4 terminals. First, it requires a permanent line in neutral connected to the L and N terminals to power the device itself. The O terminal is your output for the load, which in my case is the light circuit. Finally, there is the switch terminal, which allows you to connect an external switch so you can still control your lights manually. The Shelly Mini Gen3 is truly one of the smallest relais on the market. You can see its actual size here when I hold it against this electrical tape. This tiny footprint is the only reason this project is possible. In a box full of wires, every millimeter counts. I've already managed to install and secure 6 of these units using these custom mounting brackets, and I'm about to wire up the 7th one now. Watch closely as I walk you through the full procedure, so you can see exactly how to handle these connections in such a tight space. Now, let's look at the manual control. If you remember from the start of the video, this Vimar box was filled with conventional switches, like this one. Unlike a push button, these have 2 fixed positions, one for on and one for off. Normally, with 7 Shelly devices, I would need 7 individual switches. But as you've seen, this box is already packed with wires, Wago connectors, and even a doorbell unit. Fitting 7 standard switches alongside all that hardware is simply impossible. To reclaim that vital space, I'm switching to these double push buttons. They are the exact same size as a single conventional switch, but they give me 2 independent buttons to control 2 different Shelly devices. By using this, I've already successfully connected 6 of my Shellys using just 3 double push buttons. The beauty of the Shelly Mini is its flexibility. It can handle both conventional switches and these momentary push buttons. We'll dive into the specific settings to make that happen in just a moment. But first, we need to wire up our final unit. For connecting this last Shelly Mini, I'm preparing 3 Nia flexible wires. Because space is so tight, these flexible conductors are a lifesaver. They allow me to tuck the device into position without putting unnecessary stress on the terminals or the other 6 units already in the box. Installing wire ferrules and crimping them to ensure a perfect secure connection. Finally, I'll trim the ends for a flush fit. Taking these extra steps is what makes a project like this reliable for the long term. I'm connecting the black wire to the L terminal for permanent power and the blue wire to the N terminal for our neutral. Then I'll connect this grey wire to the switch terminal. Of course, I'm going to carefully tighten each terminal screw to ensure those wires are fully secured. Now, I'm connecting the wire for my Pergola lights into the output terminal. For this final light, I'm using a conventional switch for manual control. On the switch side, I'm connecting the grey wire coming from the Shellys switch terminal. I'm also connecting the black wire from the Shellys L terminal to the switch. I've prepared one more black wire that will sit in that same terminal on the switch. To finish the circuit, the blue wire from the Shellys neutral terminal goes into this Wago connector where I've already gathered the neutrals for all the other Shellys. Finally, I'll take that last black wire from the conventional switch and connect it to my main line Wago where all the power feeds are consolidated. This ensures the permanent line goes to the switch and to the Shellys L terminal through that switch connection. This keeps the power distribution clean and easy to trace. Now comes the hard part, putting everything back in place. I'll start by mounting every double push button and the conventional switch into the Vimar mounting frame. Once they are clipped in, I can secure the frame onto the wall box. Actually, that went pretty well. I thought it would be much harder given the density inside. Since I'm using double push buttons now, I have fewer physical modules to deal with, so I'll cover the empty slots using these blank modules. Finally, I'll stamp the cover plate onto the mounting frame. With the hardware finished, let's head over to the Shelly app to configure our 7th 1PM Mini and get the conventional switch working correctly. I'm now in the Shelly app, and as you can see, the Mini has been automatically discovered. I'll tap Add Device, name it Pergola Spots, and select the light bulb icon. I'll add it to my exterior room and hit Save. First, under Application Settings, I'll change the appliance type from Others to Lighting. This ensures it's categorized correctly in the UI. Next, we head to Input-Output Settings. Since I'm using a conventional switch, I'll select Switch as the input type, and for the relay type, I'll set it to Edge. This is the best setup in my opinion because it makes the conventional switch feel more like a push button. If I turn the lights on from the app, flipping the physical switch will always toggle the state to off, regardless of its position. One more critical setting is Power on Default. I'm configuring the Shelly to restore last mode. This is vital. You don't want all the lights in your house turning on suddenly at 3 AM after a brief power outage. Finally, I'll perform a firmware update to ensure everything is up to date. As you can see, I have full control from both the app and the physical switch, and they stay perfectly in sync. The final step for today's video is adding the Mini to Apple HomeKit. Since the Shelly 1PM Mini Gen3 is a Matter-compatible device, it can be added directly to HomeKit without any third-party bridges. To do this, we first need to enable the Matter feature using a web browser. We'll start by finding the IP address of the Shelly device from the app. To get that IP address, just tap on Settings and then Device Information. There it is, the unique address of our Shelly on the local network. We'll take this IP and type it into our web browser to access the internal settings. First, click on Settings and then Device Name. I highly recommend naming the device here so it stays organized in your network. Next, head over to Location and Time. Set the time zone to your specific location and choose your preferred format. I always go with the 24-hour format. Now this is the most important part. Click on Firmware. You must ensure you are on the latest version to make the Matter features available. Once the update is complete, refresh the page. As you can see on the left menu, the Matter tab has appeared. I'll click it and enable the feature. After a quick reboot, the Matter QR code has been generated and is ready to be scanned into Apple HomeKit. Open the Home app, tap the plus icon, select Add Accessory, and scan the Matter QR code we just generated in the web browser. Tap Add to Home, and select the room where the light is located. In my case, that's exterior. I'll name it Pergola Spots and make sure it's set to display as light. And that's it. Our Shelly is now fully integrated into Apple HomeKit. One quick reminder for your own setup. Because we are using Matter, Apple requires you to have a home hub, like an Apple TV 4K or a HomePod Mini, on your network to manage the connection. Unlike older HomeKit devices that could sometimes work directly with your phone, Matter devices need that central hub to act as the brain for your home. Thank you all for watching. If you have any questions about the installation or the settings, feel free to leave a comment below. I'd love to help you out. Make sure to stay tuned because more smart home videos are coming. I'll see you in the next one.